Good morning, children. Today I am going to start lesson forward block and the INA. Okay, listen, children. So here uh, I am giving the introduction about the Subhash Chandra Bose and the Indian National Army. So here Subhash Chandra Bose was born on 23rd January 1897 at Cuttack in Odisha. After completing his studies in India, he went to England and passed the Indian Civil Service examination. But he resigned from the civil service because he did not want to work under the British Crown. He said, I do not think that one could be loyal to the British Raj and yet serve India honestly, heart and soul. Okay, listen, children, about the Subhash Chandra Bose. Here, Subhash Chandra Bose, generally known as a Netaji. Okay, Netaji meaning is a respected leader. He is one of the most prominent and highly respected leaders of the Indian independence movement against the British Raj. Okay, so in 1920 he passed the Indian Civil Service examination and joined the civil service. So he resigned in 1921 and he did not wish to serve the British crown. He was imprisoned 10 times and spent almost 8 years in prison cells. So here at the age of 24 he entered active politics in 1923 and he became a Swarajist. Here, Bose was elected president of the Indian National Congress children for two consecutive terms but resigned from the uh, post following ideological conflicts with Mahatma Gandhi. So here Bose believed that Mahatma Gandhi uh, tactics of non-violence and never be sufficient to secure India's independence and advocated violent resistance. He established a separate political party, the Forward Bloc, and continued to call for the full and immediate independence of India from British rule. Okay, children, and listen. He uh, he did not change with the outbreak of the Second World War, and he saw as an opportunity to take advantage of British weakness at the outset of the war. So he fled from India and traveled to the Soviet Union, Germany, and Japan, seeking an alliance with the aim of attacking the British in India. So, here with Japanese assistance, he reorganized and later led the Indian National Army. Children, this is completely about his introduction. Okay, and he formed the Indian National Army, and from Indian business of war and plantation workers from Malaya, Singapore, and other parts of Southeast Asia against the British forces. So, with Japanese monetary, political, diplomatic, and military assistance, he formed the Azad Hind government in exile and led the Indian National Army in the battle against the Allies at Imphal and in Burma. Okay, so during the war, Bose seems to have decided that no democratic system could be adequate to overcome India's poverty and social inequalities. And he wrote that an authoritarian state similar to that of South Russia, Soviet Russia, would be needed for the process of national rebuilding. Okay, children, again I'll explain here. Uh, so here how the Bose and the Congress, here Bose was attracted by the non-cooperation movement launched by the Mahatma Gandhi and he became an active worker of the freedom movement and he criticized Gandhiji when he withdrew the non-cooperation movement. So in no, we withdraw the non-cooperation movement in the year 1922 and Bose was participated in the civil disobedience movement in 1930 at the Haripura session of the Gujarat in 1938. Okay, Bose was unanimously elected as the president of the Congress and he laid stress on national planning, unity, and organization of masses for the national struggle. And here, the All India National Planning Commission was formally inaugurated by Bose at Mumbai in December 1938. Okay, children, this is the Bose with the Gandhiji. Okay, here rift with Gandhiji, how he is separated from the Gandhiji. Here, children, listen. Only explanation I am giving here. Just listen about the Subhash Chandra Bose rift with Gandhi. So here Subhash Chandra Bose became the Congress president of the Haripura session in 1938. Okay, thus showing the influence of the socialist wing in the Congress. He was re-elected the very next year, that is in 1939 AD, for the Tripura MP session by the defeating Gandhiji's candidate Pattabi Sitharamaiah. Gandhiji felt that the defeat was his rather than that of Pattabi. So, on the question of the formation of the Congress Working Committee, there rose a sharp rift between Gandhi and Bose. So, here, while Bose wanted to choose his own working committee, Gandhi disapproved it because he foresaw a danger of Bose using all means, including violence, in the struggle for independence. Here, the deadlock between the two could not be resolved. As a result, Bose was left alone. So, being helpless, Subhash Chandra Bose resigned from the Congress presidentship on April 29, 1939, yielding a place to Dr. Rajendra Prasad as the next president. Okay, children, and this was about the rift with Gandhiji. Now, the next topic is formation of forward bloc. Okay, here formation of forward bloc. Listen, children, here the forward bloc of the Indian National Congress was formed on 3rd May 1939 by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, who had resigned from the presidency of the Indian National Congress on April 29 after the rift with Gandhiji. So here the formation of the forward bloc was announced to the public at a rally in Calcutta. So Bose became the president of the forward bloc and forward bloc. So here a forward bloc conference was held in Bombay in the end of June. So in August the same year, Bose began publishing a newspaper titled Forward Bloc. He traveled around the country relaying support for his new political project. So here I am going to discuss some of the objectives of the Forward Bloc, children. This is very important. Okay, in this lesson, this is very important about the Forward Bloc and the objectives of the Forward Bloc. So here, Forward Bloc's immediate objective was liberation of India. Okay, children, liberation of India means to have free India. Okay, liberation of India, how from uh, with the support of workers, peasants, youth, and other organizations. Okay, and here after attaining independence, Forward Bloc would work for the establishment of a socialist state through reorganization of agriculture and industry on socialist lines, abolition of the Jamindari system, and the introduction of a new monetary and credit system. Okay, children, these are the main objectives of the forward bloc. This is very important, children. So again, I am repeating here. Uh, he want the liberation of India, means free India, with the support of workers, peasants, of the farmers, youth, and other organizations. And the objectives are, sir, we want to reorganize of agriculture and industry, and abolition of Jamindari system, and the introduction of a new monetary and the credit system. Okay, these are the main objectives of the forward bloc, children. Next, children, next topic is the formation of INA. Okay, so here in the formation of INA, I'm going to discuss about the formation of INA here. Here the idea of the INA, Indian National Army, was conceived in Malaya by Mohan Singh, and here Indian officer in the British Indian Army, he decided not to join the retreating British Army and instead went to the Japanese for help. So the Japanese had till then only encouraged civilian Indians to join anti-British organizations but had no concept of forming a military wing consisting of Indians. So here Prisoners of war were handed over by the Japanese to Mohan Singh, who introduced them into the INA. So here the fall of Singapore was crucial for this, brought 45,000 Indian, that is the POWs, into Mohan Singh's sphere of influence by the end of 1942. So 40,000 men expressed their willingness to join the INA. It made clear at meetings of leaders of the Indian community and of the Indian Army officers that the INA would go into action only on the invitation of the Indian National Congress and the people of India. Okay, children, again I am repeating the formation of here INA. So uh, mm, here these Indians living in the territories, they are freed from European domination, organize themselves into association. Listen the explanation, children, of the INA here. So, Indians living in the territories, freedom from the European domination, and organize themselves into association for the liberation of India and serving the interest of overseas Indians. Out of these associations were born the idea of the Indian Independence League, children. So, year after the fall of Singapore in February 1942, Japan handed over some 40,000 Indian prisoners of war to Captain Mohan Singh, who had earlier surrendered to them. Here, Britain's defeat roused great hopes among the Indian soldiers, which led to the uh, formation of the uh, Indian Independence League here. Okay, so here the organizer of the league was Raj Bihari Bose, an old revolutionary who had fled to Japan in 1914. Here, the league aimed to mobilizing the members of the Indian community for the purpose of securing Indian independence. So here, the league came under the leadership of Subhash Chandra Bose after he arrived in Southeast Asia. This is about the formation of Indian National Army, children. Next, I'm going to discuss about the objectives of the INA. Okay, so objectives of the INA here is, what are the objectives of the INA? Here is first one, to organize an armed forces, armed revolution, and to fight the British Army with modern arms. So, to organize an armed revolution means to form an army and fight with the British with the modern arms. Arms are the weapons, children, here. So, since it was not possible for the Indians to organize an armed revolution from their homeland, and this task must be assigned to the Indians living abroad, particularly on Indians living in East Asia. Okay, children, and this is the second objective, and the third one is to organize a provincial government of free India in order to mobilize all the forces effectively. Okay, and next is to total mobilization of Indian manpower and money for the total war. The motto of the INA was unity, faith, and sacrifice. Okay, these are the five main objectives of INA, children. This is also very important. So already I said the objectives of forward bloc and the objectives of INA and the formation of INA also very important in this lesson. Next, children, and the last topic in this lesson, that is the contributions of Subhash Chandra Bose. Okay, so what are the contribution of the Subhash Chandra Bose? Listen, children, here at the as we here Subhash Chandra Bose was an he I'm going was an instrumental in the territorial of the forward bloc. After Subhash Chandra Bose was an instrumental in the formation of the forward bloc. After evading the British Indian authorities, Bose led to the freedom struggle outside the country. So here the active phase of the INA began when Subhash Chandra Bose arrived at Singapore in July 1943. So here the German and the Japanese submarines. So 2 days after he officially looked change of the Indian Independence League, Bose was greeted as Netaji, means the great leader, already I said. So in August 1943, he took the charge of the Indian National Army and became its supreme commander. He set up the INA headquarters in Yangon and in Singapore and began to reorganize the INA. So recruits were made from civilians. Say a women's regiment called the Rani Jhansi Regiment was led by Dr. Lakshmi Swaminathan recruitment, and training campus were opened in large numbers to cope with the rush of volunteers offering themselves for the INA. So here, what are the contribution? Again, I am repeating. Children, listen the explanation of the contribution of Netaji. Here, he led the freedom struggle outside India as the supreme commander of the INA. Okay, he led, again I am repeating, he led the freedom struggle outside India as a supreme commander of the INA, and he set up a provincial government of Free India in Singapore. Okay, and he declared war on Britain and the USA and acquired the first stretch of territory in India. So, here, when Japan handed over Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Okay, and this is one of the contribution, children. Again here, Subhash Chandra Bose gave the call for his soldiers, give me a blood, I shall give you freedom. He gave the slogans Delhi Chelo and Jai Hind. This is also one of his contributions. Next, the INA gave a tough fight to the British forces in the Assam hills. Okay, INA here, Indian National Army gave the tough fight to the British forces in the Assam hills and succeeded in capturing Ukral and Kohima. So here the surrender of the Japan in the Second World War sealed the fate of the UNA. Okay, so here the UNA set an inspiring example of patriotism. Okay, these are all the contributions of the about the Subhash Chandra Bose, children. And listen, and you have to more concentrate in this lesson on the objectives of the forward block, objectives of the INA, and about the INA, Indian National Army, and the here contributions of the Subhash Chandra Bose, children. Okay, in this lesson we completed this lesson till here, children. It's a very short lesson, and once you read the lesson, then attempt all the short answers in your textbooks. Okay, children, and with this I completed the lesson forward block and the INA. Okay, children, thank you.